Alright, in this video I'm just going to quickly show you how to make a planet with a tunnel around the planet. And then after that I'm going to be showing you how you can make a planet with a donut hole inside of it. So now this equal rectangular panorama is not very clean. It's a bit messy. So what I'm going to do just right off the bat is just show you how to clean these things up. For example, right here my shadow was in the shot because I was hand holding this picture because I didn't have my tripod head with me. So in order to get rid of the shadow, I'm just going to click the clone stamp tool over here on the left and then select a good brush size, and the hardness of the brush is about 75% right now. And I'm just going to click Alt on my keyboard and then click on the picture to the left of the shadow somewhere. After I've done that, I'm just going to simply click like normal over the shadow and paint over the shadow with the copied area that I just copied when I pressed Alt and then clicked. So there you go, that's all fixed up. Let's do the same over here. Alt click on the regular layer and just paste over this. Alt click and then click like normal, and there we go. So that part is all cleaned up. But what about all this black stuff up here? Well, what I would normally do is fill this in by selecting it and then pushing Shift Backspace and then using the Content Aware feature. That would usually fill it in with blue sky. But in this particular example, when you're making tunnels with planets inside them, or you're making the donut hole planets, you don't necessarily need a lot of blank empty sky. It's usually redundant and you don't need it. So what I'm going to do is just crop out the picture until it gets right here. So I'm going to go to Image, Crop, and now that's gone. But I will fill in this little guy right here. I'm just going to select this guy with my quick select tool, go to Select, Modify, Expand, and expand the selection by 10 pixels just to make sure I have the entire thing selected. Then I'm going to push Shift Backspace and use Content Aware, and then push Enter and click OK, and that will be filled in all nice and tidy like that. Now in order to make the tunnel with the planet inside of it, all we got to do is mirror this guy. So let's duplicate the layer, and then let's go to Image, Canvas Size, select % from the drop down box, and then type in 200% for the height value. Then push the down arrow on these little boxes down here. Push OK, and bam, we've got doubled the height on the top portion of the canvas. Now let's press Ctrl T and rotate the top layer and then move it up. You can see, bam, there we go. Now you can see that this doesn't really match up. The sky over here is too bright, and the sky over here is it's in the opposite orientation. So what we can do is erase the sky completely and add our own new clouds in there, or we can just simply right click and click Flip Horizontal, and then that will match them up perfectly. I'm just going to do that for right now. If you did add your own clouds in here, you would have to mirror the clouds horizontally so that they match on the left side is mirrored from the right side. In fact, I'll just show you. Let's add some new clouds in here. Now that we've got the picture mirrored, let's just quickly right click and click Merge Layers, and those are now merged. Now I just popped in this cloud layer here because I want to show you how we could add some clouds in here. I'm just going to do this very quickly to show you, if you did want to get around and put some clouds in there, that you're going to run into a problem if you try to do it. And I just want to show you how you can fix that problem really quick. So let's select the bottom layer and grab the quick select tool just because I want to make a really quick selection, nothing fancy. Okay, you got that. Now let's go back to the cloud layer. Let's view it. So this is what it looks like. And now with that selection there, let's click the layer mask icon just to add those clouds in there. So that's looking pretty cool. But look at this. Look what happens when we go to layer flatten image and then we go to filter other offset. Now that when we're shifting the picture from left and right, look what happens. The clouds don't match up on the left and right side of the picture. That's because these clouds, it's not a 360-degree picture. It's just capturing a very limited sense of degrees, basically. So in order to get around this problem, what we can do is go to filter other offset, and then we can just use the clone stamp tool and make a big soft brush and just try to work our way around it just like that, and it will get rid of that harsh line. It may not necessarily make it perfect looking, but it does get close enough to the point where people won't notice. For instance, right about, if I get in, you can still see this little harsh line right here, but if I make the brush smaller and then use the clone stamp tool and then just paint over that, now you can see that it's very difficult to tell that I was even there to begin with. So let's just keep doing that. And there we go. Now you can see the selection is not perfect around the edges. I'm just doing this as a quick example just to show you. So let's zoom out. Now it's looking a lot better. So here's the before with that harsh line, and here's the after. So now when we offset it again, it's pretty much seamless. It's all good. So now let's make it into a tunnel with a planet inside. Let's go to Filter, Flaming Pear, Flexify 2. I probably should have made the file size or the canvas size smaller on this. So I've got the input to equal rectangular and the output to stereographic, just like normal. And now if we just move the latitude to plus 90, we can see that we've got the tunnel with the planet inside, which is very great. And you can, and because they're the same, as you can see here, I just mirrored this equal rectangular. You can put another equal rectangular in here that's different, and for example, this one was taken at the beach, but if I wanted to put maybe a grass equal rectangular picture, I could put that in the top, so I would have two different ones. So I could have a grass picture in the middle and then the beach going around it. So that's just another idea that you might want to play around with. And if you do it in the middle, you can see that you can get two planets out of it. And if you move the longitude, you can spin the planets around. And if you move the spin, it will just rotate the picture like normal without changing anything. And the field of view, of course, it's zooming in and out. Now you can make it so it looks like there's just a regular landscape on the bottom and then a planet above. In order to do that, you're going to want to put it to maybe 25-30 degrees, and then you'll get that solid horizon at the bottom, but then you'll get the planet at the top. So I'm just going to click OK and have that render out. Okay, so now for the donut hole picture. In order to make the donut hole planet, you're going to want to have the landscape in the middle of the photo and the sky on the tops and bottom. And we're going to mirror it to do that. So first things first, I just want to quickly select this black spot and fill it in with the content aware fill feature. But first, let's go to Select, Modify, Expand, and expand it by 10 pixels. And then we're going to push Shift Backspace, use Content Aware, push Enter, and that will automatically fill it in with blue sky, or it will attempt to, at least. Alright, did a pretty good job. Let's do this little guy right over here. And then, now let's just actually shrink this image size to make it smaller so it's faster on the computer. I'm going to make it 4000 by 2000 pixels. Alright, that's good. And now, when we're mirroring the picture, we actually don't need the very bottom of the equal rectangular. So, and it turns out we actually don't even have it anyway because I forgot to take it. So let's just crop this area out because we don't even really need it. So image, crop, and now let's mirror this guy. So let's duplicate the layer and then go to image, canvas size, put in 200% for the height value, and then select the up arrow. Push OK, and there we go, we got our empty space there. Now with this duplicated layer selected, let's press Ctrl T and right click on this, and then press flip vertical. Now there you go. You could do flip horizontal as well, and you'll get a result where it doesn't really match mirror completely. But either way you want to do it, it really doesn't matter too much. I think I'll try doing it with it just like this. In fact, I'm actually going to move this up right about here. I'm going to push enter, and then I'm just going to create a layer mask on this layer, grab a big black soft brush, and then erase this harsh line. And I'm just going to fade in these two pictures together. I might need to drag it up even a little bit more. And now, here we go. Don't want the brush too big. There we go. Now that's good enough for me for right now for this example. You can see if we zoom in right here, it doesn't look too shabby. Over here, it kind of looks a little bit weird because the shadows end, and you don't really even know what where the shadows are coming from. So in this little example, that's the only kind of downside about this picture, is the shadows. But I think it's fine, and we can get away with this. So let's crop out that black area right there. Image crop. And now let's go to layer, flatten image. And now let's make it a donut hole planet. Let's go to filter, Flaming Pear, Flexify 2. And then you will notice if it's right in the middle, you'll get two tunnels side by side. If it's all the way to -90, you will get that donut hole picture. If we zoom in here, you can actually see it. So I'm just going to leave it right there so we can see everything in the frame. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more until just the tips of the tree right there. Click OK. I'm going to let that render out. And bam, there we go. Now let's crop this guy to just get rid of all that negative space that we don't really need. Right about here's good. Image, crop, and there's the final piece. Now you can also rotate the image to your liking. I kind of think that kind of looks cool. But yeah, if you zoom in, you can see it. It's total donut hole. And you can do two different equal rectangulars in this as well. For instance, if you wanted the beach on top and the grass on the bottom, you could do that as well. You would just need to really fade it in, just like I showed you.